Welcome to our Middle East briefing. Today, we're diving into some exciting and intense news from around the globe. First up, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has nominated President Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, praising his leadership in regional peace efforts like the Abraham Accords and discussing ongoing Gaza ceasefire negotiations during a White House dinner. It's a fascinating twist in Middle East diplomacy, with hopes for a breakthrough on hostages and peace talks. Next, in a move that's stirring up more international tension, Trump announced the U.S. will resume weapons shipments to Ukraine, just days after a pause due to stockpile concerns. With Russian attacks intensifying, Ukraine's defense needs are front and center, and this decision highlights the complex balancing act between aid and military readiness amid ongoing conflict. Finally, the UN has adopted a resolution urging Afghanistan's Taliban to improve their treatment of women and combat terrorism, despite opposition from the US and Israel. The resolution emphasizes humanitarian aid and calls for international support, but critics argue it rewards failure. These stories reveal a world full of diplomatic negotiations, conflicts, and political drama. Please continue to watch for more detailed insights. The Independent vividly reports that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has officially nominated President Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, praising his leadership in advancing peace efforts across the Middle East. Netanyahu highlighted Trump's role in the recent strikes on Iranian nuclear sites and the groundbreaking Abraham Accords, which have fostered diplomatic normalization between Israel and several Arab nations. During a White House dinner, Netanyahu presented Trump with the nomination letter, emphasizing the global admiration for his contributions to regional stability and security, and lauding his team's efforts in seizing diplomatic opportunities amid ongoing conflicts. The moment was marked by mutual appreciation, with Netanyahu asserting that Trump's leadership has been instrumental in forging peace in a turbulent region, underscoring the significance of their partnership. The Independent also details the high-stakes diplomatic maneuvering surrounding the Gaza conflict, with Netanyahu and Trump engaging in discussions aimed at securing a ceasefire. Netanyahu's visit to Washington coincided with indirect talks between Israel and Hamas, as the U.S. prioritizes ending the nearly 3-year war in Gaza and securing the release of hostages taken during October's terror attacks. Trump, speaking at the dinner, expressed optimism about a potential 60-day truce, emphasizing that Israel supports a ceasefire proposal sent to Hamas and that negotiations are progressing. The reports underscore the delicate balance of diplomacy, with U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Envoy Steve Witkoff, working behind the scenes, while Netanyahu's meetings with American aides further signal a concerted effort to bring about peace amid ongoing violence and regional tensions. Meanwhile, The Independent highlights President Trump's assertive foreign policy moves, including his decision to resume military aid to Ukraine and increase weapons shipments amidst the ongoing conflict with Russia. Trump justified the escalation by citing the dire situation faced by Ukrainian forces, which are under heavy Russian attack, and emphasized the importance of Ukraine's ability to defend itself. This decision follows a brief pause in aid prompted by concerns over U.S. stockpiles, with officials debating the balance between supporting Ukraine and maintaining readiness for other conflicts. Additionally, Trump announced a delay in the deadline for U.S. trade negotiations, extending tariff talks with multiple countries to August 1, while also criticizing former allies like Elon Musk. These developments reveal a president actively shaping foreign policy and economic strategies amid a complex geopolitical landscape, reaffirming his commitment to American interests and global influence. The Independent reports on the high-stakes diplomatic dance unfolding in Washington, where President Donald Trump is scheduled to dine with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu amid ongoing conflicts and negotiations concerning Gaza. The atmosphere is tense, with Israeli troops still engaged in Gaza following Hamas's deadly October 2023 attack, which resulted in over 1,200 deaths and the taking of hostages. The meeting aims to discuss a fragile ceasefire, with indirect talks in Qatar faltering but still holding hope. Meanwhile, Trump's administration is also maneuvering on the trade front, delaying tariff deadlines and threatening new tariffs on countries like South Korea, Japan, and several others, all amidst a backdrop of protests and political criticism, including Bernie Sanders condemning Netanyahu as a war criminal. The political climate is further heated by Trump's public spat with Elon Musk, and the domestic scene reflects deep divisions, with Democratic voters calling for more aggressive opposition tactics against Trump and the GOP, even suggesting violence as a means of protest. The BBC highlights the controversy surrounding Irish rap group Kneecap, who are set to perform in Glasgow after a tumultuous period marked by political statements and accusations of extremism. Originally scheduled to headline at TRNSMT, their slot was cancelled amidst public outcry over footage showing band member Mo Chara holding a Hezbollah flag and making incendiary remarks, including calls for violence against politicians. The group's provocative lyrics and support for Palestine have sparked widespread debate, with Scottish authorities and police citing safety concerns. Despite their popularity at festivals like Glastonbury, NECAP's controversial history, such as charges related to terror offences and inflammatory comments, has made their performances a flashpoint in political and social discourse. The cancellation underscores the tension between artistic expression and political sensitivity in the UK, especially amid ongoing debates about free speech, extremism, and national security. The Associated Press reports on the UN General Assembly's adoption of a resolution condemning the Taliban's oppressive policies in Afghanistan, despite opposition from the US and Israel. The resolution, which is non-binding but symbolically significant, urges the Taliban to reverse their restrictions on women and girls and to dismantle terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS. It emphasizes the importance of humanitarian aid and economic recovery, calling on international donors to support Afghanistan's dire needs. The vote reflects global concern over the Taliban's return to power in 2021 and their subsequent policies, which have severely restricted women's rights and worsened human rights abuses. The US criticizes the resolution as rewarding failure and has taken steps to limit Afghan migration, while countries like Russia and China abstain. The resolution also encourages a more coordinated international effort to address Afghanistan's ongoing security threats and humanitarian crises, highlighting the complex and contentious nature of engagement with the Taliban regime. The Independent reports a rare admission from Iran's President Mahmoud Pezeshkian during an interview with Tucker Carlson, revealing that U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities have caused severe damage, and the country currently lacks access to these underground sites. This acknowledgement lends credence to the U.S. government's claims that the recent missile strikes significantly damaged Iran's nuclear infrastructure, particularly the Esfahan metals conversion plant, which is vital for weapon development. While initial intelligence assessments suggested only months of delay and minimal impact on Iran's uranium stockpiles, subsequent evaluations indicated that Iran's ability to produce nuclear weapons might be substantially hindered, though not entirely eliminated, raising concerns about the potential for clandestine sites and the resilience of Iran's nuclear program. South China Morning Post underscores the escalating tensions between the United States and China amidst ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's aggressive stance emphasizes an intent to reassert deterrence through military buildup and strategic confrontation, including transforming command structures and pushing for increased defense spending among allies. Meanwhile, China's rapid military modernization, including hypersonic missiles and aircraft carriers, coupled with provocative military maneuvers near Taiwan and disputed waters, heightens the risk of miscalculation. Both superpowers harbor dangerous beliefs about limited war victories, while mutual threats of escalation, ranging from cyber confrontations to nuclear posturing, loom large. Experts warn that without de-escalation and crisis management mechanisms, a conflict could spiral into catastrophic global consequences, emphasizing the need for diplomatic restraint and cooperation on shared existential threats like pandemic response and artificial intelligence safety. Associated Press vividly depicts Syria's ongoing battle against wildfires near Latakia, with firefighters from Syria, Jordan, Turkey, and Lebanon working tirelessly to contain the flames. The images show Turkish helicopters and Syrian civil defense teams battling the inferno amid smoke and destruction, highlighting the devastating impact of climate change and environmental neglect. The relentless fires have persisted for days, taxing emergency services and causing widespread destruction of forests and communities. The scene underscores the urgent need for international cooperation in disaster response and climate mitigation, as the Syrian White Helmets and neighboring countries mobilize resources to combat the increasingly severe wildfires threatening the region's ecological and human stability. Deutsche Welle reports that UNESCO is on the verge of announcing new World Heritage Sites, including the fairy tale-like Neuschwanstein Castle in Bavaria, with its towers resembling a storybook castle, and other remarkable sites such as a sunken Caribbean port city and mysterious cave paintings. The Bavarian palaces, built by King Ludwig II, have been a top contender for over a decade, attracting over 1 million visitors annually. Alongside these, 31 other sites worldwide await recognition, ranging from ancient fortresses in India to the underwater city Port Royal in Jamaica, and prehistoric petroglyphs in South Korea. The list also features sites in Tajikistan, Cambodia, and China, reflecting a global tapestry of cultural and natural wonders. However, the selection process faces criticism for its subjectivity, with experts like Christoph Broman highlighting the adverse effects of tourism and the risks faced by existing sites due to conflicts, environmental changes, and natural disasters, such as water scarcity threatening iconic landmarks like the Taj Mahal and Yellowstone. As decisions loom in Paris, the potential designation of Neuschwanstein as a UNESCO World Heritage Site promises heightened international recognition and increased tourism, underscoring the ongoing debate over how best to balance preservation, cultural value, and the impacts of global attention. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Great dragon wakes ancient streets, leading change with modern beats. Cities rise and towers peak, new dawn breaking, bold and sleek. From the Great Wall to Shanghai, progress moves as kites fly high. Tech and trade, it's all in play, future shines brighter every day. Great dragon roar, change the cars marching strong with mighty force. Whoa. New era, new wave, fast-paced day, history made in full display. Politicians make their plea, voices blend in harmony. Policies for growth and peace, ambitions never cease. Dreams of silk and digital, bridging gaps from old to new. Fortunes build and bonds renew, nations strengthen, bold review. Traditions hold, but minds explore, east meets west and knowledge door. Complex world they navigate, China's power demonstrates. From the Great Wall to Shanghai, progress moves as kites fly high. Tech and trade, it's all the play, future shines brighter every day. Great dragon roars, change the course, marching strong with mighty force. New era, new way, fast-paced day, history made in bold display. Politicians make their plea, voices blend in harmony. Policies for growth and peace, ambitions their growth and peace. New era, new way, fast-paced day, history made in bold display. History made in bold display. Politicians make their plea, voices blend in harmony. Policies for growth and peace, ambitions never cease. Dreams of silk and digital, bridging gaps from old to new. Fortunes build and bonds renew, nations strengthen, bold review. Traditions hold, but minds explore, east meets west at knowledge door. Complex world they navigate, China's power never cease. Dreams of silk and digital, bridging gaps from old to new. Fortunes build and bonds renew, nations strengthen, bold review. Traditions hold, but